Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and this is ANI 255, Advanced Animation and Effects. And this is Module 1, Introduction to Particle Simulation. And you can see that we have a shot of the VFX shot of Deadpool 2. And I want to have you guys watch this with me really quick. If I can find it, here we go. Alright, so you can find this in the lesson content. Under the lesson content, you can see the whole thing. But I just want to look at this particular shot here. Alright, so that shot that you saw here, this shot you could recreate in Maya entirely. Probably wouldn't look as photorealistic as this, but you could do all the dust and the smaller particles, and then the breakup of the cement, and model the truck and all the foreground pieces. And it would take you'd have to have a pretty powerful machine to simulate all this, but it's possible you could do that. But it's a cool shot. I just wanted to show that to you, and that's the image that I basically got and put on, and you'll be seeing that every single module. Maybe I can find some different things that we can look at, but that's basically what particle simulation, the visual effects. We're going to be kind of looking at all of the what Maya has to offer as far as VFX goes internally in Maya. So anyway, so I'm Jeff Byers. I'll be your instructor. Most of you have had me as an instructor. If you haven't, welcome. And I look forward to taking you through how to create visual effects in Maya. Alright, so I'm going to be checking my emails Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, basically all week long from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And my office hours are from 1 to 2, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You may request a Zoom meeting during that time, but please be aware that I have 80 students. I'm teaching 4 classes. And during this semester, so availability will be limited, and I have to vet your request by a case-by-case basis. Please read the syllabus. That's really important, and you can find the syllabus right here. And if you click on that, it'll take you to the syllabus that I have here. You can download it, and then you can see we have a module every week until the very end. Okay, final exam. So check all the dates on that. And so let's go back into your assignments. And in here you can see that everything's basically, I have a template, and you go through everything. As you go through this, you will watch the introduction video, which you're watching right now. And then the weekly assignments are here until you get comfortable with when things are due. Otherwise, I'll just keep that up there. I'll probably take the advice for success. Everybody knows that you're going to want to watch that introduction video. If you skip it, there may be information that I put in there that I wasn't able to put in, or I put in there at the last minute that I was not able to put into the module itself. So always watch the introduction video. You have to communicate to me and me only. I appreciate that you communicate to me directly to jbyers3@gcc.edu. You can communicate through Canvas, but I prefer jbyers3@gcc.edu because I get to it a lot faster. I'm checking that all the time. The only time that you're probably going to have to wait is a response on Saturday or Sunday. So please don't wait until then. If you're struggling with an assignment, please don't wait till the very end. Okay, I appreciate that. Always be proactive and contact me immediately if you run into any issues. Okay. Don't procrastinate. Don't wait till the last minute to start your assignment. We talked about that. Time management. Always manage your time the best you can. If you start your project early, you'll get it done early. You'll upload it, and then you have the rest of the week to work on other stuff. Okay. I can't predict how long it's going to take you to do each one of these. I feel that I made these very manageable, the modules and how much we're going to be learning. And I don't expect a whole lot of modeling and texturing, just basic stuff, so we can make your scenes more interesting. Sometimes the visual effects can hold their own, but most of the times you have to model to give it, make it more impressive, I guess. So overview. In this module, you're going to be introduced to particles. You're going to learn how to create them, add fields and collisions, and control them by changing particle attributes discussed in the module and lesson content. So you're going to be watching lectures and video tutorials that I've created myself. There may be times where I'll direct you to a video that I'll vet before I show you, or before you watch it, to make sure that it is correct. But once in a while we'll do that, but most of the time I'll do my own stuff. Basically, you're going to model and texture two environments. Okay, they're going to be separated, so you're going to have two different scenes. One's going to be a snow simulation, and one's going to be a rain simulation. So those two are we're going to start with. Basically, you'll create everything within Maya, and you'll create a XVid if you're using Windows, and H.264 if you're using Mac. So you'll need to download, if you're on a Windows machine, you're going to have to download the XVid plugin, which is easy to get a hold of. I think you can just type in XVid and it will actually show up. There it is. Okay, so you can just download it, get XVid codec. So download it and get it for your Windows. Okay, and all you have to do is download it, put the exe on your desktop, double click on it, just go ahead and install it. You have to make sure you close Maya, and then you have to shut your machine off and restart it. And then when you open a Maya and you're creating a play blast, and you can find it in there. It'll pop right up. So watch all my videos. Objectives. I think you guys can read all that, but I'll read it this time. You're gonna learn how to create particles using emitters. You're also going to learn how to control particles through tweaking emitter attributes. And you're going to explore fields to help control and give particles direction. You're going to learn how to make particles collide with other objects. You guys already know how to model and texture. I'm assuming that this is a kind of a higher end, higher level class. I'm assuming that you know how to do that. And then you can watch the VFX breakdown of the Deadpool. There's a lot of these out there, but I just picked Deadpool. I really like Deadpool, so I just picked that one. And this is where your lessons start. Okay, as you can see, Module 1 lesson content, lecture, and video tutorial. So I'm going to have you guys read all this. Please watch all the videos. You can see some of the examples I have here, some of the typical implementations of particles, and the emitter types. These will all be on quizzes, so anything that's in the lesson content in this area here will either be on a quiz. It's required reading, and you need to basically go through everything. Don't skip to the bottom. I want you to just go through it like this and watch every video and follow along. with the videos so you can understand how to create videos, or excuse me, particles. Alright, so your course assignment, you will model and texture an environment and create an appropriate snowfall scene using a particle simulation following the instructor's example. Okay, so I'll have examples in here. And you're going to do the same thing with the rainfall. So it looks like I'm just kind of copy and pasting and just putting in the snow and the rainfall. You're exactly right, I did. But I got to be specific on what you want to do because these are two separate scenes. Alright, so basically I'm just telling you got to create a geometry emitter using a plane. So you're going to use the plane as a surface emitter. And you're going to create both the snow and rain emitters from those planes to create a more realistic result. Now we could have used an emitter like a directional or an omni emitter. Those would work, but there's a lot more work involved to get those to look right. And using a surface plane is the best way to go. The student may save both of the snow and rain simulation scenes separately, so I need you to do that. And then of course create a play blast of each one. Now I don't have any frame counts on here because they're in the actual videos. So I want you to do the frame count as the same as these videos here. So I've got two videos. One kind of introduces you how I modeled, how I created the scene, and I basically want you to follow that scene pretty closely. Now if you want to change things around and make it your own, that's fine, but I want you to model trees. And if you don't want to model a snowman, you can model, I don't know, something that is more, I don't know, like sleds or something like that, or whatever you'd like to model instead of a snowman is fine with me. But I want you to just kind of go above and beyond and have some fun. Now just keep in mind that because the nature of particle simulation, it depends on how powerful your computer is. So a lot of you might be stuck with a computer that can't do much. So I had to really scale back on what you guys could do because some of you don't have powerful computers. So I've had to scale back quite a bit to make sure everybody can get through this. So I took a lot of time. I had to rework the whole entire what I was going to do for this because it took a lot of time I had to basically re-record all these videos to make sure everybody could simulate. Okay, so that was a big thing. So hopefully you appreciate that, and if you want to go above and beyond, you sure can. But I want to see the end result. So when you get done watching this, the end result should look like mine. Okay, that's part of your grading. Get it as close as you can. Of course, if you want to add more or do more, feel free. But I need to have at least what you see in that scene. Again, you don't have to do the snowman, but I do want trees, and you can place the trees anywhere you want to. But just keep in mind when you do simulations, the higher the resolution count on your meshes, the bigger the computer, the more powerful the computer you got to have. So the computer has to be extremely powerful, and you have to have a really good graphics card to be able to push those, because it simulates frame by frame. That's how simulations usually work when you're doing dynamic simulations like this. So you'll do a snow scene first and then a rainy scene the second. Make sure you save your work all the time and save it in a sequence so you don't lose anything. And usually once you get done modeling and texturing your scene, you will need to go back. Make sure you save your scene with just the modeling and not with all the particle stuff. So whenever I ask you to model something, always save it, okay, and don't touch it again unless you need to bring it back in. But do that before you start doing any simulation. Okay, then you get my congratulations with the emoji, 2 thumbs up. I know it's corny, but it's fun. Okay, so Module 1, course assignment, grading rubric. Again, think about the late penalties. So if you start on Monday, you should have no problem getting these done, I would say, within a couple hours. Some of you guys work really fast. Some of you take a little more time, but okay, the snow environment simulation. How am I going to grade you on this? Well, just like we talked about earlier in the videos, is that I'm going to basically, if you guys you're not forced to model anything. Of course, you don't get the points. So, student model and texture and environment. Okay, students are always encouraged to go above and beyond when creating their own scenes. Please keep your geometry as low poly as possible. I don't want it looking choppy and faceted looking, but also don't need 2 million polygons worth of trees in your scene for the snowy scene, you know, or 2 million polygons on your building and your street because you brought it into ZBrush or you created it in ZBrush. That just won't work. So you can't bring stuff in from ZBrush and expect for it to run or not crash on you in Maya. So be very careful with that kind of stuff. I grade you on basically this section right here. So the first section is just, did you model and did you make it look interesting and follow what I did, you know, or even if you do it yourself, that you put in those pieces, whether you have a snowman or not, or if you have a little house or a gingerbread house or whatever you'd like to put in there. I'm fine with that. Just make sure it looks nice, and I need to have the snow catch on it, because you can see in the videos that I have the snow falling on the trees, and the trees are catching it and then melting. So in this part here, the student created an appropriate snowfall using the particle simulation following the instructor's example. The student created a geometry emitter using a plane and changed the attributes for the snow emitters and created a realistic result. Of course, you should see the results when you watch those videos. The student turned in the snow simulations scene separately as an MB file, and you compress that play blast. If you didn't do that, you can get points off not compressing your video, because that is unwanted memory hog type stuff going on in the background, you know, and taking a lot of, you know, space on the hard drive. Not only my hard drive, but just downloading stuff. I always get somebody that forgets to compress, and it takes me like 5 minutes to download it, because it's like, you know, almost a gig, you know, which is ridiculous. Your movies, and you can right click on it and check out, see how big they are. It shouldn't be any higher. It shouldn't even be any larger than, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 megabytes, and should be not any higher than 100 megabytes. Okay, so 100 megabytes. Just check it, make sure before you turn it in. Okay. All right, because those as we move along and we have Playblast simulations that are 1200 frames, 2000 frames, 5000 frames, that can be a real problem if you forget to compress it. So just get in the habit of compressing it, and you all should be getting 20 points for the snow simulation, and then the rain simulation you should be getting, you know, 40 points. Okay? You have to try really hard not to get the full points, and I'm hoping everybody gets to a good start. How are you going to turn it in? I really don't think I need to make a video tutorial on how do you turn stuff in, because I'm just going to basically tell you right now. This is kind of how I want you to do it. Follow the instructions. You can see I need to make a main folder, which is your first name _ last name _ NE255 _ module _ 01. And basically for most of these, if not all of these, this will be your folder system that you'll set them up every single time. So you have your play blast in here, okay, and then you'll have your separate scenes in here, right? So your play blast should have your first name, last name, and then what it is. I call this J. Byers Rain 1, and then J. Byers Snow, okay? So this is, if I double click on this, is what it looks like. And you can double click on this one is what it looks like. So they're just very simple scenes. And really, when I say texturing, you can just use materials. If you want to really texture it, that's fine, but just remember, it will slow down your simulation. So just keep it simple. Okay? There we go. So this one's a lot longer. It took a lot longer for the simulation to get going. Alright, cool. Right, so, and then you have your scenes, and this is where you put your scenes in here. You got, and don't give me scenes that aren't related to this, meaning that the simulation needs to be completed. So if I open up, if I have a question about something, and your scenes should be that scene that came from the play blast, okay? So make sure you do that. Make sure they're separated. Alright, that's it. Some of you know how to compress, so this is how I want you to compress. I want you to right click over it and go to send to. Okay, I do not want you to use 7-zip. I want you to go in here and go to send to and go to compressed zipped folder. Okay, when you do that, then you'll upload this into the module 1 folder. Okay, that's how I want you to put everything in. So that should be it. Pretty simple. These intro videos will get shorter and shorter, so I won't have to go through all this. Okay, should be pretty self-explanatory, simple, and I'm hoping this will be a fairly simple class. Now it will get more challenging on your computer. I don't think it's going to be more challenging for you, but as we move into Bifrost, that's when things get a little crazy. So hopefully your system can handle Bifrost, and if it can't, I'm going to have some alternative things some of you guys can do. So I'm trying to keep these things as simple as possible, so everybody can have a good time, enjoy the class and the course without freaking out and worrying about whether the computer can handle it or not. So just keep that in mind. Be patient. If you do run into issues, please email me, and I'll do my best to kind of take you through everything. And if I have videos, please watch the videos. Now if you're watching a video, a lot of times you can watch a video, you can pause it. That's the beauty of a video. And a lot of times if you're trying to do the exact same thing while you're watching the video, what you want to do is watch like 5 seconds, stop it, and then recreate what I did. I know that sounds silly, but a lot of people are trying to watch too much and then go back and then they forget certain things. So just watch a little bit of it and then do what I did on the video, and that's the way I would watch it. A lot of times if you miss something, I don't know what you missed, because it's like anything else. When you're rigging, you have to do this portion first and then do this. It's kind of the same thing with simulating something. So if you miss one little step, then your simulation won't look like mine at all. Again, I'm working in centimeters, so I would not model in feet or meters. Just keep it in default at centimeters, so make sure you keep that in mind. So if your dynamics don't look like mine or don't react like mine, it's probably because you have the unit scale set too high. Okay, right. Good luck with everything. I hope you enjoy the class and have a lot of fun, and I'll see you guys next week.